be impeccable with your word. Hey guys, Austin here. Hope you're doing good. This is a book I'm reading you a snippet from here in just a second. I wanted to talk about the 4 agreements. It's not our book of the day. Our book of the day has to do with finance. It has to do with money, budgeting, accounting. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But I'm trying to throw in at the very beginning of my videos now, just a little snippet of something that I find useful and something that I review on a daily basis. As you know, I have these little flashcards that I look at on a regular daily basis. One of my flashcards comes from this book, The 4 Agreements by Don Ruiz, and it is agreement number 1, which is to be impeccable with your word. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to read you a snippet from this book in just a second, but when you Google the definition of impeccable, it means in accordance with the highest standards of propriety, faultless, right? A man of impeccable character is how they use it in a sentence, okay? So from the book, it says, the first agreement is the most important one and also the most difficult one to honor. It is so important that with just this first agreement, you will be able to transcend to the level of existence I call heaven on earth. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. It sounds very simple, but it is very, very powerful. He goes on to say, why your word? Your word is the power that you have to create. Let me say that one more time. Your word is the power that you have to create. Your word is the gift that comes directly from God. Okay. And so the book is 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Basically, when you say you're going to do something, stick to it, right? And do it. And be impeccable with what you say. Be faultless with what you say, in accordance with the highest standards with what you say. That is what it means to follow the first agreement, which is to be impeccable with your word. This is going to tie into the end of this video, so I'm going to come back to it here in just a second. Today, we're talking about a book called The Accounting Game, okay? And if you, I have a lot of books here, right? This book I have an ebook, and so I don't have a physical copy of it to show you today. But it's called The Accounting Game. It's pictured of a picture of a lemonade stand is what you see on the cover. It's by Daryl Mullis and Judith Orloff. So we're talking about this, and this is going to be just a little bit of an introduction book, an introduction video, but you would be surprised at how few people follow some of the things that we're going to be talking about, myself included in the past. I really struggled with this for many, many years, even when I was running my previous business, which was a real estate brokerage. We had 4 offices, and I still struggled with doing this. And I was in charge of operations, which says a lot. So let's talk about accounting, okay? So as Tillman Fertitta, the famous billionaire who owns the Houston Rockets, he owns Bubblegum Shrimp, he owns Landry's, which is his holding company, the Golden Nugget Casino chain. He owns all that kind of stuff. Very big in the, I forget what the word is. It's not entertainment. It'll come back to me in a little bit. But he's probably worth about $10 billion, okay? And as Tillman Fertitta says in his book, Shut Up and Listen, which is a great book that I have read multiple times. I really enjoy it. He says, you better know your numbers, okay? So you better know your numbers. That's what Tillman Fertitta, the billionaire, would tell us, is that we need to know our numbers. That's why we're talking about the accounting game today. Galileo said, mathematics is the language in which God has written the universe. Math, finance, accounting. Pretty important stuff. Very, very important. And so that's the book that we're reading today, okay? So, and I want to throw a couple of things out there, so I'll kind of go through some of my notes. Please don't say, I'm not a numbers person. I'm saying this out loud because I have said this myself many times. I'm not a this person or a that person. When we say things like that, myself, I'm putting a spotlight on myself. I'm the one that's doing this. When I do this, that is a self-limiting belief system. And we recently got done reading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And in that book, he talks about how our conscious and our subconscious mind, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, how they work together. They bounce things off of each other. They go back and forth. And our conscious, is saying things to our subconscious and vice versa. Well, when we're saying things like this consciously, when we're saying, I'm not a numbers person, when we're saying, I'm not a fitness person, or I'm not a technology person, we're creating a self-limiting belief that is going to become true. And that's what we learned the other day in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, is that we should really try to work on not having these self-limiting belief systems in place and start working towards just not having them, right? Not having those things in place. Why can't we become a math person, a numbers person? I struggled with math in school. It was probably one of my worst subjects in school. I did horrible at it. I was an okay student in some areas. I was a very poor student in other areas. And I always said to myself, I'm not a math person. I'm not a numbers person. I'm this. Well, if we want to be successful in business, I have come to the conclusion after reading all of these books and many other books from people that are far more successful than myself. And the truth is that we need to know our numbers. We need to know our business's math. We need to know our personal finance. And this is not me saying this as theory. This is me being the reporter, going out there, reading a book a day, every single day, and finding out what the most successful people are telling us we need to do. We need to get good at this. So hopefully I've sold you a little bit on this, end me talking, and let's move on to a few things that are here in the book. Now, remember, I'm going to show you how this kind of ties back into the 4 agreements, being impeccable with your words. Okay, so I'm going to give you, this is going to be kind of an introduction here. So we're not going to get super complex, not super advanced here. We're going to talk about 2 terms, and then we're also going to talk about a plan for getting back on track. Do you feel like your finances are a little bit out of order? Do you feel like maybe you're kind of just struggling just to get by? Or maybe you're doing okay. Maybe you have some money that's coming in, but you don't feel like you're making the exact progress that you want. I have a great plan that I kind of put together. It's something that I personally do, by the way. I do this every single day, and I'm going to talk about that plan here in just a minute. But let's go ahead and get the boring stuff out of the way. Let's talk about cash versus accrual accounting. Okay, so there's 2 methods. There's probably more, but there's 2 well-known methods when it comes to the type of accounting that you do for yourself or for your business. One is called cash accounting, and one is called accrual accounting. I wanted to talk about this because this is a term that I learned probably in the last year and a half, and I think it's an important one for us to know about. And this is a little bit of an advanced trick. If you go up to most people on the street and you say, hey, do you know what the difference is between cash accounting versus accrual accounting? Most people can't answer that question. And so let's go ahead and let's talk about what that is and what that means. Okay, so cash accounting, it records transactions only when cash changes hands. It recognizes revenue when cash is received. It recognizes expenses when cash is paid out. It's simpler and reflects actual cash flow. And it's commonly used by small businesses and for personal finances. So if you're just looking to kind of get started with your own financial management and whatnot, cash accounting could possibly be the right accounting method for you to do. Okay, accrual accounting, a bit more advanced, a bit more complex, and used in certain situations. We'll talk about those on who uses those in a few minutes. Accrual accounting records transactions when they occur, regardless of cash flow. Recognizes revenue when it is earned. Recognizes expenses when they are incurred. Provides a more accurate picture of financial health. Required by GAAP accounting principles. Generally accepted accounting principles. That's GAAP and GAAP for short for most businesses. So it's required by GAAP. Generally accepted accounting principles for most businesses. So what are the differences? Okay, timing is one. Cash accounting focuses on cash flow timing, while accrual accounting focuses on when income and expenses are earned or incurred. Okay, complexity is another difference. Cash accounting is simpler. Accrual accounting is more complex, but gives a more accurate statement. And the regulation, many businesses, especially those with inventory, must use accrual accounting per regulatory requirements. So basically, inventory versus no inventory. So, and so we'll talk about who typically uses cash accounting, and then we'll talk about who uses accrual accounting. So it's commonly used by small businesses and sole proprietors and individuals. It's typically used by services businesses, such as doctors, lawyers, accountants, consultants, real estate companies, and cleaning services, and much more. Basically, it's very suitable for a business with no inventory. Okay, but accrual accounting is required for businesses with inventory and commonly used for manufacturing companies, retail businesses, and wholesale businesses. It provides a more accurate reflection of profitability and financial health. Okay, so and then some key points is that service businesses without inventory can use cash accounting, and businesses with inventory must use accrual accounting. Okay, so why does this matter? It matters because this is the first step in us becoming more advanced in our financial management for ourselves. This can kind of get overlooked and overrated. If we really want to grow and we want to have a business that gets bigger, if we want to make more as an individual, accounting is a very important thing, right? Looking at our numbers and understanding everything is very important. Being able to go in and see how the business or how yourself is doing every single day at the drop of a pen and being able to understand exactly what your financial picture is, super important. But basically the difference between cash accounting and accrual accounting really comes down to inventory as a main thing that differentiates it. And the reason why is because if you're selling shirts, for example, and you order in, an order for cotton, right, to make the shirts or whatever. I don't know how shirts are made, but let's say you order in you need a bunch of cotton, and let's say it costs $50,000, and that comes in to your business. Well, when you look at the accounting and you see how everything is going, accrual accounting allows you to kind of spread that $50,000. It allows you to spread it over while you're making the shirts and selling them, basically. So basically, instead of paying for that $50,000 in 1 month and that showing up on all of your financial reports, it allows you to, yes, pay for that order and store that order, but to have that cost be incurred in your accounting system as you sell shirts and ship them off and receive money from customers. So it kind of allows this type of flow of money and numbers, and it helps with taxes, and there's many other advantages as well too. And it's the most accurate way to go if you have inventory or a business like that. Okay? So that is cash versus accrual accounting. Now, the next term is much more simple. I wanted to start with the hard one. Profit and loss. This is a statement. It's also known as an income statement. I'll read you my little notes and I'll talk about it for a second. So a P&L, a profit and loss statement, also known as an income statement, is a financial report that shows how much money your business earned and how much is spent over a specific period of time, like a month or a year, for example. So income, this is where all the money that your business or yourself makes from selling your products or services or your job that you work at. It's all the money that comes in. It also shows your expenses, all the things that you had to pay, rent, salaries if you own a business and you have employees. Utilities, materials if you're selling products. If you're talking about just for your personal life, the cost of internet, the cost of insurance, those types of things, right? And then the profit and loss by subtracting the total from total income. So you see whether your business made a profit, earned more than it spent, or a loss and spent more than it earned. And then the P&L statement helps you understand the financial health of your business and make informed decisions about budgeting, spending, and investing. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, primarily, okay, is the power of the profit and loss statement, okay? Maybe the cash accounting versus accrual accounting, maybe that's not the most important thing for you to know right now, but I think every single day, if we're adding in these little advanced things and we're getting a little bit better each day, it is going to work out for us over time. But the profit and loss is one that we all need to know and understand. This statement tells us exactly how we're doing and how our business is doing. And so that's what we're going to start at today. So I'm going to talk about the plan now. Okay, so I explained what a profit and loss was. We talked about cash versus accrual. Now we're going to talk about a plan, and I'm calling this a plan for getting back on track. So if you feel like your finances are out of control for whatever reason, maybe you feel like you're not earning enough income, maybe you are earning plenty of income, but you don't feel like you're making any progress. Maybe you're not saving enough. Maybe you're not investing for you and your family's future. Maybe you're just not where you want to be, right? And by the way, we all struggle with this, right? This is an ongoing thing that we are constantly having to battle each day. And so this is a plan for getting back on track. Whether you're making good money and you just need to start making some progress, whether you're not making good money and you just need to start making some progress, right? Basically, if you want to make some progress, this is a great plan. And this is what I personally do every single morning when I wake up before I start my day. I do this every single day. So this is not me telling you what to do. You don't need to do this if you don't want to, but I wanted to share it with you in case it is helpful. And by the way, I do it every single day. So I feel confident telling you about this because it's not like I'm trying to tell you to do something that I don't actually do. I do this every day. So let's see here. We already kind of went through that. Okay, there are a few notes though that I want to preface this with actually. So if you don't have as much money as you would like to have right now, I have great news for you. I believe that you and I are being tested. Whoever can be trusted with little can be trusted with much. If you can be trusted with a little, you can be trusted with a lot. That is why right now is the time for us, you and me, to get a hold of our finances. If we cannot be trusted with a little, then we'll never get much, right? So today is today. Now is the time. It's time for us to do this. Okay, so what gets measured gets managed. And so, so the first thing that we're going to do in this plan, there's 3 steps, and we're going to talk about them, but there are 3 steps. But the first thing we need to do to get back on track is we need to track every single minor detail religiously about our finances. We need to the first thing we need to do is just see what's happening and get on board with it. And I mean doing this down nitty gritty, like getting like super deep into the details. So here are 3 steps for getting back on track. And by the way, if you want me to put together a more advanced finance training, please let me know. You can comment on this video or you can send me an email and I'll put that together, or I'll work on putting that together. I like making these little videos, guys, by the way. Hopefully you're getting some value from this, but I'm the one that's actually getting the value here because I'm able to read all these books and find some interesting stuff and talk about it. It helps me remember. And so thank you for being here because this is helping me just remember all this stuff. I love talking about this stuff because it helps me get better too. And hopefully there's some good stuff here for everyone. Okay, the 3 steps for our beginner plan. Number 1, every day, look at your bank account. Every day. You can take the weekend off if you want to. Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday. You know, I believe in taking one day off. I personally take Sundays off one day. That's kind of my rest day. But every single day, open up your bank account and look at it. You can do it on your phone. I do it on my computer. I take this like super serious. And so I look at it on my computer every single morning before I do anything else. And so if you have multiple bank accounts, then check all of them. And don't just look at the amounts, look at the transactions that are happening. See what came in, see what went out. Every single day. Not 3 days a week, not 1 day per week, not 1 day every other week. Every single day. Remember, this is where it's starting to come back here, guys. Be impeccable with your word. This is a good thing to do. This will only help. This will only help us get better. It'll help us make progress. What gets measured gets managed. We have to start measuring If we don't have a lot, we have to start measuring today so that we can get to a lot or get more or get out of the situation that we're in and start doing better. So even though it's simple, that is number one. Every single day, be impeccable with your word. Look at your bank account every single day and see how much is coming in, how much is coming out, and what transactions were happening in your bank account. See where your money is going. What is the famous saying? Show me your pocketbook and I will show you your heart. I'm probably paraphrasing that quite a bit. I don't care. It still works. Show me your debit card or credit card statement and I will show you where your heart is. Right? Super true. For me too, by the way. This isn't me talking to you. This is me talking to myself. I'm talking to myself. I need to do this. Step number one, look at your bank account every day. Step number two, if you're already doing that every single day, then the next step is to set up some accounting software. We're going to need some way. We're going to need some technology. You could do it on a piece of paper for sure, but that's just going to be too long. I mean, it's 2024. We gotta get a little bit, use a little bit of technology. You don't have to spend any money. I'll talk about paid and free. QuickBooks is one software that I use personally. I used to pay more when I had my business because I had payroll connected into it. For my personal QuickBooks, I only pay $16.50 per month, roughly. And QuickBooks, you just, in my opinion, you kind of just got to have it. It's really good. It allows you to run the profit and losses. You can categorize your transactions. That's going to be in the upcoming step. It connects to your bank account so that you can have all of your stuff come into the system so that you can set up your budgets, run your financial reports, and see how everything is doing every single day. QuickBooks is number one. Number two is EveryDollar. EveryDollar.com. I'll put the links for all of these in the descriptions. I don't get paid if you buy any of this stuff. I'm telling you because I use it. I use EveryDollar. It's great for personal finance. It allows you to create budgets. It allows you to track where your spending is going. And I could probably get by. I could get by with just QuickBooks, but I use EveryDollar too. I don't know why. I think it's because I did such a bad job managing my finances in the past that I'm using multiple softwares to make sure that I get this thing done every single day and that I'm very thorough about it. So EveryDollar is great. They got a mobile app. They got the desktop. Again, I do everything on my desktop. And so I'll put a link for that. And then Notion. Notion I use as well. I put certain numbers. I put my bank balances and my mortgage balance that I have left on my house for my home, and I put those things in my Notion file every single day, so that I can track and see how I've been doing. Have I been seeing a lot of money go down, or am I seeing money go up? So I track that. I use that for my own, just kind of my own custom tracking that I do. And then if you don't have anything that you can do, if you don't have money for doing paid stuff like QuickBooks or EveryDollar, those cost money. Notion costs money, I think. Maybe there's a free version. I don't know. And I need to build you guys a template for Notion because I have a command center. There's actually a book somewhere around here. I don't want to grab it. But the E-Myth Revisited taught me a thing, and I need to make you guys a Notion file. This is on page 175 from the E-Myth Revisited. This talks about how a business is structured. And whether you own a business or you are an individual person, this applies both ways. So I need to make another training video on this and also put together a Notion file so that you guys can have access to the command center that I use every single morning for my own stuff. So that will be coming up. If you don't have any money, Google Sheets. Google Sheets is free. And if you don't have any money, you can download your bank account transactions each morning and you can put them into Google Sheets. Make sure you don't add in duplicate transactions. And Google Sheets is awesome. You can run reports. You can do formulas for running certain numbers, and you can do a lot of damage with Google Sheets. There's an extra step because you have to go in and manually download your bank account stuff each day. But who cares? Like, set it up once and then just do it every single day. It's worth it if you don't have any money for the other stuff. So Google Sheets is free. So number one, look at your bank account each day. Number two, set up some accounting software, either QuickBooks, EveryDollar, Notion, Google Sheets, or a combination of all four of those, or any other software that you have. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. Number three, categorize your transactions each day and create a budget. We're going to talk about a budget in another video because pretty shortly I'm going to be doing my book of the day is going to be on Dave Ramsey's book, Total Money Makeover. And I'm going to talk about the baby steps, which is a great plan, underrated. Yeah, underrated, incredible plan. And I'm also going to talk about creating a budget. My business is one of the hardest businesses to budget for. And so if you have an easier business than mine, which is real estate, then you're going to be solid. But it doesn't matter anyways. We're going to talk about how to build a budget. But you need to categorize, and I need to categorize our transactions every single day. If money comes into QuickBooks or EveryDollar or whatever, drag it into the category. There's lots of different categories that you can add. It is going to depend on what your life is. I have things like insurance. I have things like cable, phone. I combine those two into one category. I have advertising costs. I have I call it dues and subscriptions for like YouTube Premium that I pay for, all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't matter. What we need to do right now is just get started. Categorize the transactions. Even if you don't know what categories you should have in your accounting software, it doesn't matter. Just get started with something. And if you just do it every single day, you will start to know what categories you have, where your money's going, how much you have coming in, how much you have going out. And that is the beginning step to advancing life, in my opinion, right now. I think that that's the beginning step, because once we have that in place, we will be able to have the information, the data right in front of us. So we can go into our system and we can look and see, okay, this is how much I have coming in. This is what my life looks like right now. What do I need to change? What do I need to change? And then we can kind of start building on top of that. This is the first step, in my opinion. If I was to go back to Austin Homolka, when he was 18 years old, I would sit him down, look him straight in the face, and I would say, this is the first step. Okay. Good. So, and I know, guys, like, usually I'm a reporter. I read books and I tell you the information that I find. You know, I get excited about this stuff sometimes. So I'm not trying to tell you what to do or how to live your life, but I believe in this. I really believe in this, and I do it personally. And so, and if I could go back and talk to my younger self, I absolutely would. So anyways, hope you guys like this video. I make these videos, by the way, because it helps me learn. I read a book a day, every day, and I write about my greatest findings, the information that I'm learning, and I share it with you. It helps me retain the information, and I hope that you get something out of it as well, too, and that you can go out into your life and crush it, right? Go do something big. You were put on this earth to do something amazing. I'm not sure what it is. I can't wait to hear about it, but whatever it is, you can do it. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.